everyone. I'm Erin Dugan from Fox 56 Sports, and welcome to Week 3 of high school football on MyTV WQM Live. Tonight, it's a top 5 in the state matchup as number 5 Montoursville travels to meet number 3 Danville in a key Heartland Conference Division II game. Montoursville has played in the last 2 District 4 AA championship games. The Warriors won the title in 2014 and lost last year to Southern Columbia. Meanwhile, Danville won the District 4 AA title in 2012 and lost in the championship game the following year. Since then, the Ironmen went on to be 8-13 the last 2 seasons, but things are looking up as Danville and Montoursville are both the favorites to win the new District 4 AAA title this season. Let's get you out to this week's Rivalry of the Week.
Montoursville is coming off a huge win over Selinsgrove last week. The Warriors are young but talented.
We've got some kids that are going to step in and be okay there. So if we can piece together an offensive line, I like the way, I like the way things are looking right now.
Danville is looking to go 3-0 for the first time since 2013. The Ironmen only start 1 senior, but the youngsters do have experience.
Yeah, they're very excited about it. They worked hard over the summer, most of them, and we've got a great core of 11 players on both sides of the ball. We have some depth issues, but I think we're going to be pretty solid.
It's a Heartland Conference Division II showdown between 2 state-ranked teams. Next.
Good gain up to the 39-yard line. Neutral line of scrimmage, 3rd and 10, let's call it. Here comes the blitz from the outside, and they get him. Oh, he breaks a tackle. He's out in the open. Fakes it to Bekowski. Udini goes out to Bekowski, down the sideline. He has him, breaks a tackle.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY.
From Ironman Stadium in Danville, it's the renewal of an old rivalry that's been on hiatus the last 2 seasons. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Ide. Aaron Dugan will be on the sidelines with us shortly, and in the booth with me tonight, Mr. Personality himself, Eddie the Edsel Walker. When we talked about Danville in the preseason, Jim Kaiser, the coach, said this is going to be a top game. He had this one circled early on.
No doubt about it. This is a marquee matchup. Both teams are 2-0. Hardly a surprise. This is going to be a great matchup, Bob.
Let's talk about Montoursville first. They're going to have an air attack, and they have a top quarterback in Bryson Bucina.
Yeah, Bryson Bucina is a long kid. He's 6'4". He sees over the defense. They love to attack you vertically. He's thrown for just less than 400 yards in 2 football games.
On the opposite end, Danville, they want to ground and pound it, and they have a top running back in the Heartland Conference, Trent Hilkert.
Yeah, downhill Hilkert, so to speak. He's run for just less than 400 yards. He's an alpha male kind of back.
Yep, the weather will be a factor tonight. Aaron will talk to us about that shortly, but when we come back, it's the kickoff and the starting lineups on MyTV.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY.
Back live at Ironman Stadium in Danville for a Heartland Conference Division II showdown. Montoursville comes into the game undefeated with big wins over Shikellamy and Selinsgrove. Meantime, Danville has beaten Bloomsburg and South Williamsport. So that's where the 2 stand tonight. Montoursville has won the toss. They will receive. One of the big factors in the game both coaches talked about early on was the weather. And to give us more on that, let's go down to Aaron.
Well, Bob, definitely not as hot as we might have expected, but still very humid, very sticky, kind of uncomfortable. Definitely hotter than you'd think for week 3 of high school football. Some schools in our area were actually let out early today. Some schools in Philly, their games were canceled for the evening. So it's not quite that bad, but still something that's going to be a factor tonight. And cramping, I'm sure you'll see cramping, and they just have to make sure they stay hydrated, guys.
So, Eddie, depth issues. Both coaches talked about it. First for Montoursville, it seems like they have more players on the roster and maybe a little bit more depth than Danville tonight.
Absolutely, no question about that. 38 people dressing for the Ironmen. They're dealing with some early season injuries also. That's certainly part of football. It's the next man up. We'll see come late 3rd, 4th quarter if this comes to a head.
So as I said, Danville will kick off. Montoursville won the toss, and they will receive. So we'll see the high-powered offense from Montoursville. One of the things coming in, I mentioned who they beat. Montoursville beat 2 very good 4A teams. Danville to decent double-A teams. Do you think that will play a factor in the competitiveness of the game?
On paper, Montoursville is more tested, no question about it. They really had to battle. They got out ahead of Selinsgrove very early. A pretty good Selinsgrove football team. They held on to win. Certainly they played stiffer competition. We're soon going to find out if that's going to play a part.
Peyton Riley will tee it up for Danville. Back to receive Tom Shea and Eric Sees, and we are underway in Danville. So the Warriors will have the ball around the 30-yard line to begin their first possession. Nolan Ott gets the start in the backfield. They had to replace Keith Butkowski, and Ott's doing a nice job so far this year, 212 yards. The receivers, some of the best in the state. Tom Shea returns. He has 9 catches already, averages over 20 per catch. And up front, they're not big, but they're very talented. Only one returner. That was Dalton Tubbs, the center. Other than that, you have 4 new guys. Huge defensive play.
Yeah, they run the jet sweep action there. Nice play on the perimeter by the defensive end. That's a loss of yardage, brings up a second down.
Darian Yeager with the tackle. So a loss of 3 on that. You seen it? Back underneath center. Straight handoff through. That was Nolan Ott. Nowhere to go, so 3rd and long on the way. So here is the Danville defense giving up 12 points per game. Preston Foshnot gets the start. He's got 10 tackles on the year, 2 for a loss and 1 sack. The linebackers will have to be very active tonight, and they have a great one in Ken Cooper. They run a 3-5, so 5 linebackers in there. Cooper, 22 tackles on the season. You've seen his first pass of the game. Goes in and out of the hands of Ott, and nope, picked off by Riley. The ball stayed in the air, Eddie, and it went right into a purple jersey.
Yeah, they run a little out. Pretty much parallel with the change. It would have been a first down. Watt fails to squeeze the football, pops up in the air, the ball's picked off. First big break of the game, turnover, Danville Ironman.
Oh, went off his leg.
Good Lord, he kicked it with the back of his heel. High points to football on the interception. Nice job coming up with that pick.
Huge turnover in the first quarter. Danville takes over at the Montoursville 32-yard line. Hilkert for a couple.
Yeah, a little stretch play action there. Hilkert's tackled by Brian Schaefer. Picks up about 2.5 yards, brings it up a second down.
Both teams will try to play as many players as they can in the beginning of this game. But now an opportunity for the Ironmen to get up quickly. Hilker has room. Tackle in there by Torrin Lewis. Close to a first down.
Hilker on a little counter action there. Hits B gap, kind of busted out to the C gap area. A little bit of room to run. Nice job, brings up a 3rd and about 4 yards.
Up front, they're not big, just 208 pounds they average, but they do some nice blocking.
And they have great pad level. They're tough kids. And this wing T, your guards have to get out in space. They have to move. This is a well-coached offensive line.
Nothing fancy, but shooting in is Lewis for a loss on the play. 4th down on the way for Danville.
Yeah, Hilkers follows his fullback, but a nice job in there knifing through to blow that up and to actually lost yardage on that play. This is going to be a 4th, and what's that, about 4 yards, Bobby?
Yep.
Ball inside, well, right at the 25-yard line, so certainly 4-down territory. First big play of the ball game.
Torrin Lewis has been very active from his linebacker position here early on, so a big call in the first. Riley with some room, tries to pick up a block. It's going to be close to a first down. We'll see where the mark is.
Riley with the belly fake. He takes it to the boundary side, follows blockers to the short side of the field, and he does have the first down. Nice play on a big fourth down conversion by the quarterback from the Ironman.
Look at it again. Got a big block from Hilgert.
Yeah, nice job, Hilgert. Nice seal block, a kick-out block. And Riley falls forward for the first down, but really, Hilgert made that possible with that nice seal job.
Danville also trying to keep the time of possession up so they can keep Messina off the field. .23 up for about 4 yards. You'll take that every time he gets the ball.
Yeah, Hilgert just busting it behind the tackle. You're going to see a lot of that in this wing tee. They're going to attack the outside of the tackle shoulder. That seems to be where the wing tee likes to go. And they get good solid yardage. Going to bring up about a second and a long 5.
Danville comes in after 2 games averaging 26 points per game. They rush, as you might expect it, for 332 yards a game with wins over Bloomsburg and South Williamsport. This time, Montoursville meets the other running back. That's Gannon Feldman, last year's quarterback, who takes it up for a couple.
Feldman attacking the field side of the field and really held to a minimal gain there. Give him about 2 yards. Nice job by the linebacker, the outside linebacker for the Montour Warriors to seal that off.
So the time keeps ticking. Montoursville with a tough game last week over Selinsgrove. They pulled that one out. They give up early on in the season just over 18 points per game. 167 on the ground. That will be tested tonight. Bellman with Hilgert. Great tackle on the inside. Mitchell Rothrock shoots in. 4th down on the way again for Danville.
Yeah, Rothrock from his outside linebacker spot kind of submarines through to take down the ball carrier. Another big 4th down situation coming up here.
So they'll bring out the tee. The quarterback, Peyton Riley, also does the kicking. He's 1 for 1 on the year. That was a 24-yarder. This one will be about 32, maybe 31 yards. Kick is up, and it is good. So after the interception, Danville converts a field goal, and they lead this one 3-0.
Nice strong kick. 3 points on the board.
So Danville converts the interception into points, and they lead it 3-0. And Eddie Walker, we didn't talk about special teams, but both teams have good kickers. That's obvious. How will the special teams play a point in this game? High kick. Montoursville will take it.
Yeah, usually coaches like to say there's 3 aspects to a football game: offense, defense, special teams. If you can win 2 of them, you generally win the football games. Games are won and lost by special teams week in, week out. It's very important, Bob.
Montoursville has a very good kicker themselves. Maybe we'll see him. Ethan Lasorka. He actually has 3 field goals on the year already. So the Montoursville offense back on. 5th interception of the year put on Bryson Messina. A year ago, he only had 4 for the whole season. So Montoursville going to try and run it, open it up on the outside a little bit. Gain of 1.
Yeah, once again, Cooper. We talked about the Mike linebacker, Ken Cooper. He's the guy in the middle. Does a good job coming up, filling a gap, making a nice stop at the point of attack.
He has 22 tackles this year, 96 a year ago, 67 of those were solo. Shea in motion. Messina wings it out. Hits Riley Conboy for about 10 yards, up to near the midfield mark.
Messina rolls out towards the boundary, the short side of the field. Squares his shoulder, throws a strike, moves the change, 1st and 10. They really do attack you. They had a receiver a little further down the field running the flag pattern, so what they did was flood that particular zone.
They go back to the traditional I. Ott with some room, holds on to the ball up inside Danville territory to about the 44.
He ought breaking tackles in the second level. We're going to see it here once again. Nice job once again by Ken Cooper, finally coming in, making a wrap tackle. Nice gain.
And Eddie, last year Keith Bukowski, All-State running back, ran for almost 2,000 yards, 23 TDs. So the Warriors had to replace that. Have they done a nice job so far?
Yeah, they have. He was a great receiver, too.
So this time it's Lewis straight through on third down, close to another first down for Montoursville.
Yeah, Lewis on the quick hitter from the fullback spot. He's going to take it up to third and less than a yard.
One of the keys to the game, limit big plays for Montoursville, for Danville. You talked a little bit about that, Eddie. You don't want to get Musina throwing the ball all the way downfield.
Looks like we have movement up front.
First flag of the evening. Joe Claybon, our referee tonight from the Pennsylvania Heartland Conference. And it goes against Montoursville. So 3rd and 1 now turns into 3rd and 6.
That'll drive you crazy. An unforced error, short yardage situation. Now that backs you up. Big break for the Danville defense. Can they take advantage?
Musina surveying. On the outside, it's Shea. He's up inside the 40 near the 36. The chains move now for the Warriors.
Lining up in the pistol. Musina throws a strike on the out pattern, to Tommy Shea. Coach Keeler talked about Tommy Shea this week. Said he was a great leader. I'll tell you, this kid's a playmaker, both sides of the football. Look at this nice throw on this out pattern. 1st and 10. Beautifully executed.
What do you like about the way Musina throws the ball?
I like how he stands tall in the pocket. I like how he steps into his throw, throws with authority.
And he's developed over the years. Of course, they won the district title 2 years ago. Last year, lost to Southern Columbia. And breaking free is Torrin Lewis. He's close to a touchdown. It'll knock him out at the 2-yard line. 32-yard gain. 1st and goal, Montoursville.
I don't believe Torrin Lewis was even touched there as he went weak side here with the handoff. Makes a nice cut. Lots of room to run. Takes on the tackler, lowers his shoulder, and it's 1st and goal.
Montoursville answering Danville's 3 points with a drive of their own. Touchdown, Montoursville, Nolan Ott.
Full house backfield look something right out of the wishbone. Nice job blocking up front. First score of the game as far as a touchdown goes to the Montoursville Warriors. A team that likes to throw the ball. Of course, the throw set up the first down, but the run really did set up the touchdown.
That drive, 7 plays, 65 yards. Lasorka in for the extra point. And that extends the Montoursville lead to 4. What a nice drive, Eddie, and they answered quickly. You saw a little bit of everything, good running, and great passing from Musina. Let's take a look at the touchdown one more time.
Nice job. Nice block by 10 at the point of attack. That's Keegan Leahy. Really, it's a wide back in the full house look. He's following 2 backs through the hole. Nice job picking up that short yardage. You know, that was all set up on that little short squib kick. It looked like a little infield pop-up. Really, they get the ball right near midfield. Tremendous field position. We'll have to see later in the football game if Danville elects to kick deep, or if that's some type of a ploy that it didn't really work there.
So Montoursville, who had that big game against Southern Columbia in last year's District 4 AA final, one of the best games ever. Eddie, was a 55-50. Southern went on to win the state title, but Lord Montoursville is just reloading again.
Nobody tested Southern the whole way through the state tournament like the Montoursville Warriors. Both teams hung half 100. Great job. Absolute masterful performance by Musina in that football game.
So Danville will get it back. Lasorka tees it up. Miller and Persing back to receive, and Lasurka to the goal line, and it will be a touchback. So he caught it in the end zone, and it comes back out. Some impact players, Danville offense, Montoursville defense, and has to be up front. Rouse and Mowry have to do a good job finding where Shea is, one of the linebackers.
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys up front, they suck up the blocks, and guys like Shea, they run free to the football. So it's imperative that the defensive line gets penetration, takes on blockers, and frees up the linebackers to make plays.
Coach Kaiser talked about Mowry. He made a shift from fullback. He was a fullback last year. He's gone over to the guard position, playing very well. They're not big, but they're efficient. Hilkert with a hole. Hilkert has 55 rushes coming in. In the first game against Bloomsburg, he had 27 rushes. South Williamsport, he had 28. He'll be close to that tonight.
Yeah, great block at the point of attack by number 64, Ryan Browse. Really set that run up. Nice job up front. Before you know it, Hilkert's in the second level, dragging people to the third level.
Danville runs the wing T. This is Riley, the quarterback. Not much room, just a couple yards. One of the keys to the game, presented by Wendy's for Danville. It's obvious, you got to control the clock.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to keep that passing game of Montoursville, that quick strike offense off the field. You really want to wear them out on the defensive side of the football. You want to get first downs, you want drives.
You also need a turnover or two. They've already have one, an interception off of Musina. Four-man front for Montoursville. They give it to Hilgert. Up near the 40. What do you like the way Hilgert runs the ball?
He's 6'3", 215, so he's a bull. He really takes on tacklers. He really lowers his pads. He finishes runs. What I mean by finishes runs, he generally falls forward. He generally punishes the tackler more than the tackler punishes him. A lot of these kids that are tackling him now may not want to tackle him a little later in a football game.
He's a guy that gets stronger through the game. He's the only senior that starts for Danville. Something positive for them. Inside handoff. They try to get it to Seas, but great job by Shea from his linebacker position. Fourth down on the way. It looks like Danville will punt.
What Shea did there was stay home. With all this crisscross action, the outside linebackers have to stay put because the ball will come to them. This tomfoolery, you can't chase the ball, you'll be out of position. Usually the middle backer stays up to take the center, which is A-gap.
First punter of the game, Riley. Washington down to receive. He wisely lets it go, and he'll down it at the 16-yard line. So the last time these two teams met, Montoursville won 21-10. Last time Danville beat Montoursville was the year before, in 2012, 21-7. That's the year Danville won the District 4 AA title and finished 11-3. Couple tough years in between for Danville, Eddie, but it looks like they're on the rebound.
Yeah, 2 years ago they scored 91 points. Last year they scored 273, I believe, and they're going to eclipse that this year. So nice rebuilding job by Coach Kaiser.
So Musina back on the field. We have another penalty at the line of scrimmage. Penalties have been big for Danville, 16 in all in the early on, but right now it is against Danville.
1:39 left in this first quarter, 7-3 football game. The Warriors lead.
Talk about the offensive line of Montoursville. They had to replace 4 starters from a year ago. Tubbs the only returner, but so far it looks like they're gelling pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very, very young up front, and so they're certainly going to get better as the year goes on.
Fauchenot with the tackle for Danville. Couple of yards, second down on the way.
Coach Hewler, he talked about Austin Weiser, 6'5", 260-pound sophomore, says he really thinks he's going to be a Division I football player. The kid's going to develop. He's going to get stronger. he's going to learn his craft, but he certainly has the body of, to be a football player at the next level.
He's on the left side. So Messina in the shotgun. Down to the middle of the field, hits the tight end Rothrock, and he's got room. Still on his feet. Inside Danville territory, knocked down at the 33-yard line.
With great pass protection. What a clean pocket. Messina's only been sacked one time in 2 games with this young offensive line. What we saw there was a triple vertical look. You had guys running down both sidelines. Then you got the tight end running down, Rothrock running down like a post route to the middle of the football field. He's wide open. The ball hits him in stride. Tremendous execution of that play. 1st and 10, Warriors.
3rd catch on the year for Rothrock. 55 yards on that pass and catch. Ott. Just a yard. Messina against Shikellamy in the first game of the year threw it 34 times. Didn't throw it as much last week against Selinsgrove.
They gave up a lot of pass yardage on the other side of that. The defense bent, but they didn't break, giving up just 17 points, coming out with 2017 win.
But all the talk is about the passing game, but the running game can't be overlooked for Montoursville. To the air again. On the sidelines, Conboy with the catch. 1st down at the 21. Nice rollout from Messina.
Yeah, and he goes to his left where he has to kind of throw against his body. Throws a strike on the out pattern. The out pattern's been open all night and just puts that ball where it needs to be. Now watch this. He's going to his opposite side. It's real tough. You got to throw against your body. Sets his feet, steps into the throw, throws an absolute strike to the sideline.
So Messina starting to heat up. 3-year starter. 43 touchdowns in his career, 21 interceptions, near 4,500 yards through the year. Messina. Conboy. Right inside the 15, near another 1st down.
Yeah, they run it out to the wide side of the football field there. Conboy catches the football, about 7 yards on that gain on that out pattern. They've been attacking the outs and with great success. That'll end the first quarter, Bobby.
As expected, it's a tight one here in Danville as the Warriors up 7-3.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY.
Back at Ironman Stadium, Montoursville with the 1 touchdown, Danville with the field goal. Aaron Dugan has made her way into the Danville's section, and who do you have there, Aaron?
Well, Bob, I'm here with the Danville Band. They're one of the best bands in the state. They had a fantastic pregame performance. I'm here with Aaron and Abby. Aaron, let's start with you. Tell us about the band, how many members you have, and what makes you guys so special.
Well, we have about 130 bands, so we're a pretty large band for our area, and we're very unique. And, our band's just... We have lots of sportsmanship, and we get into the games, and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can tell you guys have a lot of fun. And Abby, tell me about the pregame performance. You did some really awesome songs from some movies, I think it was.
Yeah, we did our first songs from Remember the Titans. It's called Titan Spirit. And our second one's from the movie Skyfall, which it's the name Skyfall. And then our last one is One Day More from Les Mis. And I think it went really well today.
Yeah, me too. People see the final product. They see you guys doing such a fantastic job, but they don't realize how much work goes into it probably. Tell me about some of the hard work you guys put in.
Well, in August, we spend about 2 weeks practicing out on the field behind the school. And in the heat of the hot summer sun, we practice from like 9 in the morning to about 5 o'clock at night, with an hour lunch break in between, of course.
Well, the hard work shows. Great job, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bob?
Thank you, Aaron. And as you saw, Montoursville completed an 84-yard drive in 5 plays. It's Messina, the Rothrock 14-3 lead, Eddie.
Yeah, Rothrock runs a little curl down here, a little outside curl, a little rollout action. Stops, throws the football perfectly High points to football. Rothrock the tight end. Squeezes a touchdown. Montoursville Warriors.
So now Danville has to respond. They don't want to get down too big. That's not an offense that's going to score quickly.
No, they're not a real good comeback offense. They're more of a prodding, take the air out of the ball kind of attack. So they really need to counterpunch here. They need to get back in this football game.
Oh, it could start right here on special teams. Lasorca tees it up. Nice leg. He sends it right to the end zone again. You don't see that a lot in high school. So Lasorca, one of those kickers that could be looking at the next level.
Yeah,
no doubt.
That's a great weapon, excuse me, Bob, on special teams. Yeah, you kick the ball in the end zone, the ball comes out to the 20-yard line. Coaches love that.
So now the Ironmen have to dig deep. They had a close one against Bloomsburg early on and against South Williamsport, but they pulled out both wins. But this is a different beast, as we talked about. Montoursville is a seasoned team. They're used to the big games, used to the spotlight.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeler's done a tremendous job. This is a playoff football team year in, year out.
Hilkert knocked behind the line of scrimmage. Hunter Laird, number 66, the sophomore in there.
Yeah, they're young out front, but that's a heck of a play by Hunter Laird. Watch him come off the block here and picks the right shoulder. Comes off that outside shoulder, does a nice job wrapping the ball carrier. Hilker's a load to take down. That was a great defensive play, Bob.
So they've replaced some of the guys up front to give them a breath. And Laird, who's a backup, comes in, makes the play. Riley's first pass is complete out to the tight end, Kozik, for a first down and a flag on the play.
Little scissor action on that Delaware wing T look. Riley rolls out, throws a strike on the out pattern. That would move the change. There's a flag down. I believe it's going to be against the Warriors because they're marching down towards the Ironman goal line. Could be a face mask, Bob. I'm guessing. We'll find out here in a moment.
Let's look at the play again. Maybe we can see the face
on
mask.
On the defense, 5-yard penalty. Yep. It's a 5-yard face mask. First down.
There you saw it on the replay. So Riley coming in, 6 of 13 on the year, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So nice pass there from number 8. Comes the blitz. They're going to put Riley back again. Pumps and fires, and he completes it again to his favorite receiver, Kozik. Give him 11.
Yeah, Kozik takes the ball across the middle, catches the football, turns his shoulder, a little bit of yardage after the catch. Here we're going to take a good look at this. Little half rollout action. Nice throw, pretty good coverage. Ball's thrown where it needs to be thrown. Change move, 1st and 10, Ironman.
So that opens up the defense a little bit. They got to respect the pass. They give it to the second man through Feldman. He's still on his feet. Feldman breaks out into Montoursville territory and is knocked out of bounds near the 30-yard line.
Rothrock eventually makes the tackle, but Feldman broke a tackle right on the edge. We'll have to take a look at this. Look here, right on the edge. Does a good job lowering his shoulders and running over a Warrior. There's a nice stiff arm. There's another broken tackle. He lowers his shoulder once again, and Rothrock makes the tackle. Good physical downhill running by Feldman.
20 yards for Feldman. Danville on the move. Riley out. Persing, nice move. Cuts it inside. Knocked down at the 21. So Danville's going to the air. Riley doing a nice job finding his targets.
Yeah, little 3-step drop, little timing pattern out to Percy. Percy makes a nice fake to the inside, pick up some yards after the catch.
The one thing Montoursville's defense has done this year is they've given up a lot of yardage. Per game, 457 yards total. That's 167 on the ground, 289 through the air. And you mentioned Selinsgrove last week, over 300 yards passing. So Montoursville's defense being tested here.
Yeah, they throw a couple passes, then they pound Hilkert in the middle with great success, picking up about 6 here. Watch this big hole. Hilkert lowers his pads. He always falls forward.
Second down on the way. Riley again to throw. To the end zone. out of the reach of Kozik. Third down coming up. Have to be impressed, though, with the Ironmen, the way they've responded.
Absolutely. Still work to do. It's going to bring up a third down, but they roll out on this particular play. They roll to the short side of the field. We really only have to read half the field. Nobody open. I think he did a good job just throwing the ball over the top. I think that was designed. He hit nothing but green grass in the back of the end zone there.
That was Riley's first incomplete of the drive. Hilgert hit quickly. That's Dalton Tubbs, number 62.
Yeah, Dalton Tubbs with a heck of a play there. Settling an A-gap and really putting the squeeze down south on the legs. Going to bring up a fourth down, Bobby?
Fourth down, looks like Danville will go for it. They already have a field goal, so we know Riley can hit it from here, but they trail by 11. And wisely, Coach Kaiser wants to call timeout with 9:10 remaining. We'll take a timeout ourselves. A big fourth down on the way when we return. We are back at Ironman Stadium after a timeout. Ninth play of the drive that started on their own 20. After giving up a Montoursville touchdown, Danville has responded here. But a big fourth down on the way, Eddie Walker.
How huge is this play?
Yeah.
I mean, they have the ability to kick the field goal, which would put them back by 8, but they decide to go for it.
Looking about Riley in the shotgun. He rolls, picks up a block from Hilger. He's got the first down and more to the end zone. Touchdown, Danville. Peyton Riley.
Just spreading that Warrior defense out. They have trips over here on the wide side of the field. Riley with a little half roll, cuts it back up, nothing but space in the interior, and he makes a nice cut down around about the 5-yard line. Now watch just once again, nice block in there. Now he sees the space. Here he gives a little shimmy there. Heads for pay dirt. Nice job by the signal car from the Ironman, and they do counterpunch, Bob.
That drive was all Peyton Riley. Converted wide receiver, only a sophomore. He was 3 for 4 on the drive through the air, and he gets the pay dirt, and he gets the touchdown. And he'll do the extra point. Why not? So Danville responds with a big drive of their own, and they cut the lead to 4 now with 9:02 remaining in the second quarter.
I expect Montoursville's game plan. Can this Danville football team throw the football? They threw 5 times a week ago, but they really didn't have to throw the football. I think that question might have been answered. Tremendous drive there. They did mix the run and the pass, but some real good throws on that, and that really sets the run up because that Warrior defense can't pack it in. They can't put 8 in the box when they're throwing the football. It's cooling off a little bit here, Robert.
Not in the booth.
No.
but on the field, I mean, humidity was going to play a factor, but really the clouds have moved in throughout the day. Maybe a little rain expected, but that looks like it's to the north. So right now the weather's not bad.
No.
Fox 56 Sports presents Score Stream. It's real-time high school scores plus video powered by you, the fans. Download the free app now with Score Stream. You enter the score from the stands, upload game video to Score Stream for other users to see. Fans take charge with Fox 56 Sports and Score Stream. Download the free app now.
2 marquee football programs putting on a good show here in Montour County. Glad you're with us, folks.
And Eddie, we expected a tight one, and so far, that's exactly what we've seen.
A lot of offense. I don't know if we expected that, but a lot of offense.
Looked like an onside kick, but Danville was offside. Coach Kaiser pulling out all the stops. And Coach Kaiser not happy because I think he caught Danville.
Yeah, they caught Montoursville
back on the heels. Yeah, Montoursville, excuse me, on the back of their heels.
Just failed to execute. When he shows that film Monday, I don't know who jumped off sides, but he's probably going to get an earful.
So Peyton Riley, he'll tee it up, scored the touchdown, kicks the extra point. Now he'll tee it back up. Now Montoursville might expect it, and they should get decent field position out of this. Nice kick by Riley. Goes out of bounds, so will come out up to the 35. That's where now Bryson Musina will take the field.
Just a little over 9 minutes left here in the second quarter on a Friday night in September. High school football in Pennsylvania. You got to love it, Robert.
So Montoursville has elected to let Danville kick it again. So we'll tee it up for the third time.
I don't blame them.
No.
They have a really solid return game.
It would have been brought out to the 35, but Coach Kiefer says, let's kick it again. We'll see if I can get more yardage out of it. So let's see how strong Riley's leg is. Little squib kick again. It's picked up at the 30. Couple yards, Tom Shea. And Montoursville will bring it out to the 45. Good field position to begin.
Plus 10 on the re-kick. Nice decision by JC.
So Montoursville had 3 possessions in that first quarter, Eddie. The interception on the first one. Then they went on a 7-play drive and scored. And then they went on another drive and scored. Just 5 plays. And that's their 2 touchdowns now of 14-10. So we've seen that potent offense we expected to see from the Warriors. Oh, little shake and bake, and they get it out to Shea on the outside for about 16 yards.
Yeah, they call that the hole. That's the spot between the corner and where the safety's coming over. Messina puts the ball perfectly out to Shea in the hole, and that moves the chains.
Watch
nice
the
first
move,
down
though.
Play.
Did a nice job against Pershing, putting a move on him. Ott with room. Picks up about 8.
Yeah, I kind of like you saw it, kid. He has a little bit of wiggle on his strut, too. He takes it to the outside, gives a little shake and bake move, picks up extra yardage.
112 yards last week against Sealands Grove with a touchdown.
So certainly finding his confidence. I think he's going to be a good one. Here we go, folks. Doing a good job finishing that run.
Straight through to Ott. Brought backwards. I think he's going to be short of the first down, but Montoursville again inside Danville territory for the 3rd straight time.
Yeah, that Danville defense doing a nice job. Dorian Yeager. I talked to some of the assistant coaches. They're really high on this young man. 5'9", 230-pound junior. Doing a nice job of sealing that. Nice physical tackle.
I think Danville came through again trying the blitz.
Yeah, it looked like they were bringing their Mike Backer. And I think he was just a heartbeat too quick.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense. That'll be result in the first down.
So Coach Kaiser sure not happy about the penalties piling up. Gives Montoursville a first down inside the 25.
This Montoursville offense doesn't need a lot of help.
You've seen it with the fake. Hits his back out of the backfield. That is Lewis. He's up close to the 10. Another first down for Montoursville.
We see it works a little play action rollout there. Gets the ball out to Lewis on the flat. Yards to run, moves the chains once again. Another good drive by the Montoursville Warriors. They're doing what they want to do, Bob. They're throwing the football. A lot of short stuff, a lot of yards after the catch business, but everything's working. We're looking to play a few plays back, a little run off the C gap on the boundary side.
Here come the Warriors. Ott gets a nice push from his line up near the 5. So this started with good field position off of the penalties on the kick. So penalties hurting the Ironmen right from the outset.
Plus Montoursville's executing. They're doing a real nice job of mixing the run and the pass for positive yardage. kind of looks like the Ironmen might be on their heels a little bit.
At what point does the depth come into play, Eddie? Because Danville's defense looks a little tired out there. A lot of guys going both ways.
We see some hands on the hips. That's a dead giveaway.
Hot. And they are going to say touchdown, but a flag comes in late.
The Ott bangs it up there on the short side once again. They seem to like to work that particular area. He's a physical kid. He bangs it up fast and hard into the end zone. We'll have to check and see what this penalty is.
So Ott's second touchdown of the game is going to be a face mask against Danville. So another penalty against the Ironmen.
They're going to take it on the kickoff, I believe.
Starting to play, we had a face mask on the defense. That will be assessed on the kickoff.
So the Warriors come right back with a potent offense. They drive the field 55 yards. Circa on for another extra point. And this one is through, and now Montoursville has extended their lead back again to 11 points. 5:59 remaining in the second quarter.
I believe they'll be kicking off from the 45-yard line in Danville territory. That has to drive Coach Kaiser nuts. Hey, let's talk about Coach Kaiser a little bit. I know for a fact when he was hired, they approached Coach Curry. He was still broadcasting games, and he didn't take the job. But then they hired this guy, Jim Kaiser, and I looked into it. He coached the T-Rollers, which is like the Little League team here in Danville.
Yep.
Had great success, and people kind of raised their eyebrows. But I'll tell you what, he's done a tremendous job with his program. He was certainly a great hire, and he's restored kind of the roar here with Danville. Had some illness problems a week ago. He said he's feeling a lot better. He's a retired correctional officer and just a tremendous leader and mentor for these young men here in Danville.
His 8th season, he has 58 wins, a district championship in that. Last year they finished 7-4, but he's been playing some young guys the last couple of years. And as I said, just one senior starting, and that's Hilgert. So a lot coming back for next season.
Yeah, let me ask you this. They bring 8 starters back on both sides of the ball. Then you look at the roster, and they're young. They're sophomores and juniors, and it's an embarrassment of riches for this Danville Ironman program, and the future certainly looks bright here.
Well, they want to get through this season, though, and they're going to be in contention for that new 3A spot. Montoursville and Danville, both right there. Sealands Grove has moved up to 4A. Shikellami's 4A. So there is opportunity here on the AAA level. So on the penalty, if Lasorca didn't need any more opportunity to kick it into the end zone, now he's going to kick it from the Danville side. So you try an onside kick or something here? Try to get the ball back?
I kind of think he's going to kick deep here and really try to pin him back and play some defense. Probably going to kick it in the end zone.
Maybe.
Through the goal.
Yeah, the Danville student section behind this.
No.
They do onside kick. It goes 10 yards, and it's recovered by the kicker.
Brilliant call, Robert Hyde. Brilliant call.
Hey, every squirrel gets a nut once in a while, right? Look at it again, Eddie.
Just kind of dribbles that ball out, takes a big Sunday hop, and the kicker falls on it. I mean, you can't draw it up any better than that. Perfect execution. That's the second onside kick we've seen tonight. Danville tried it, but they were offsides. Beautiful execution. Nice call, Robert.
Again, that's the penalties, though. Stacking up for Danville, no penalty on the face mask. They would kick at the normal spot.
Absolutely.
So here comes Messina again. He's going to go right to the air, down the middle. Oh, just out of the hand of Conboy. He had him at the goal line.
Picture perfect post pattern for Conboy. Manages to get one hand on the ball, just a heartbeat overthrown. But how about the time Messina has? This is supposed to be an offensive line. It's the weak part of this football team. I don't see it, Robert. I do not see it at all. They keep that kid nice and clean.
So that Danville defense back on the field again. They need to stop the Warriors here. Plenty of time in this quarter for Montoursville to extend the lead. Messina can't get it to Conboy on the sidelines.
Yeah, they run an out and they run a flag on the same side of the field. I think it was a single high safety look for Danville, so they're going to get one-on-one on one of these guys. And actually, it was a pretty good throw, as we see her on motion. Tell you, Busina throws really good when he's on the move. Really, the ball is right in the receiver's hands. Conboy's going to look at that on film and probably smack himself in the noggin.
Ironman needs something positive to happen on their side. You've seen a lot of time, and there it is. It's picked off. It's Cooper with a big INT for the Ironman.
Yeah, Jay Cooper, he's a stud. We talked about him all night long, both sides of the football. Just takes his linebacker drop. He's reading the quarterback's front shoulder and just kind of follows the quarterback. And the ball's launched, and he steps into the passing lane, makes the pick, takes the ball upfield. Big time play by the linebacker.
You notice I called the last two big plays, right?
Yes, checks in the mail, Bob. Checks in the mail.
Here come the Ironmen. Riley, he's passing the ball all over the place, and he finds his tight end again.
Coach Kaiser, I visited practice on Tuesday, and at the end of practice he said, folks don't think we can throw the football. They're in for a surprise. And I remember those words as I pulled out of the parking lot, and I think he was on to something. Little half rollout, nice throw, right on the numbers. Moves the chains. This is going to help the Ironman running game.
Hilgert stood up after a couple of yards. That's Lewis, 5'10", 200-pound senior, who pushes him back.
Yeah, he was in a bad mood when he got there. Running down the I formation, just attacking the interior, the A-gap area. A little bit of room initially, but it closed off in a hurry.
So 2 big interceptions for Danville tonight. It's kept it a little closer, even though Montoursville is up 11. Riley fumbles in, he pounces right back on it.
Yeah, they lose a little bit of yardage on that. It's going to bring up a huge third down situation. He might have blew up this opportunity. We'll see. 3rd and almost 10 yards to go. This is a big play. The ball just inside the 45-yard line of Montoursville. It's on the snap, Bob. It's on the snap. As we see it there on replay.
So they get that fumble back. Comes the blitz. Tried to get to the outside the C's, but there was a Warrior, Ott, who almost had the INT.
Ott was in much better position to make that pick, and if he makes that pick, he's probably making a house call. Not the best decision there. I expect the Ironmen are going to punt here and play some defense.
Of course, Wendy's key to the game. Both coaches mentioned no turnovers. Well, we've had 2 interceptions by Danville and a fumble there by Danville, but they got it back.
A little sloppy offensively for the Ironmen. This could be a fake. No, it's a rugby-style kick. It is pretty good rugby-style kick. Nice job.
I like this Riley kid a lot. And Danville downs it and pins Montoursville at their own 6-yard line with 4:02 remaining in the half.
Yeah, perfectly executed on that 44-yard kick. You talked about the turnover. Coaches want all possessions to end in a kick, whether it's an extra point, a field goal, or a punt. Of course, one can end in a safety. But for the most part, they want them to end in a kick. '94 yards of real estate between the Warriors and that goal line.
We're seeing if gonna pass a little quick slant. Can't hit his receiver, Conboy.
Impact players for the Montour offense versus the Danville defense, Bob.
As you might expect, Shea and Conboy, we've already seen the good combination of that. And strong safety Kozik got to play back there. He's got to watch for the deep pass.
Yes, he does. There's some top flight football players on both sides of the football out here right now. They tried that little skinny post action there. I think the receiver had a step, but just couldn't make the completion.
Kozik, the safety, about 12 yards downfield. looking for that deep pass. This is Lewis for a good gain, about 7. Third down on the way.
Yeah, they're in a single high safety look. So the box was kind of tight there. There was 8 people in the box, but that's a 6 or 7 yard run. The Warriors still do a real good job of executing that play. Positive yardage, running through some arm tackles.
Again, it's hot, humid. Danville's defense been on the field a long time. Straight handoff right back, and I think it's Cooper who pushed back the Warrior runner.
Folks, that's an all-state defensive play by Jake Cooper. Just getting low, blowing that play up. Beautiful wrap tackle around the waist. Drives the ball carrier backwards. That's a heck of a play, but it is first down yardage for the Warriors.
Yeah, they did get a first down, so even with that big hit, Montoursville keeps this possession moving. 4-minute offense now in effect. Danville will get the ball to receive the third quarter. Mussina straight down the middle. Had his tight end momentarily at Rothrock, but overthrew it.
It's kind of like an NFL offense. We've been seeing Rothrock, the tight end, running a lot of vertical routes, and he actually had a step on that play. Ball just a little overthrown. 2nd and 10. They really do like to come at you vertically. No question about it. They're a big play football team. Lots of luck. He has room to step into all his throws. You talk about a clean pocket. That's spick and span.
With that 3-5 defense, I asked you before the game, how do they get to Mussina? And they haven't at all after Danville makes a big play. But Mussina has a ton of time to step into the throw, as you mentioned. We have an injured Warrior down.
Yeah, they certainly do. I think the linebackers are so concerned with the passing game. You're seeing a lot of them worry more about their drops and coverage than attacking. So we'll see what kind of adjustments are going to come up at halftime. It's going to be vital in this football game. They need to put pressure on Mussina. He's really not a mobile kid, and they do not want to run him. He's the franchise. I think Ott kind of had the wind knocked out of him a little bit. Looked like he got tackled in the midsection.
The rivalry of the week on MyTV is presented by Wendy's. Try the best of all things, bacon. Wendy's new Baconator for a limited time only at participating Wendy's. Oh, there goes Eddie, right to Wendy's. Me and you both.
What's the Frosties?
Yeah, Frosties,
oh,
yeah.
My goodness.
We could use one up here
I
tonight.
better shut up because we're not making money. Yeah, we are making money
Yeah.
off Wendy's, obviously.
So, key Heartland Conference game. These two teams in the AAA bracket. Other teams in contention, Loyalsock, Milton, Mifflinburg off to a very good start. Lewisburg is 0-2, and Kawaneski Valley, District 4 AAA, is kind of open. I think these two teams could be right there at the end. Mifflinburg may be a surprise team sneaking in.
Yeah, Central Columbia's 2A, correct?
Yes.
They're 2-A, both on the road. What a job by Scott Dennis. One win a year ago. They win 2 road games. And now they're home tonight against Towanda. I bet that place is rocking, that new stadium, just up the road.
Also, off to a great start. Warrior run 2-0 for the first time since 2007. We'll take a look at the standings at halftime, but right here, it's Mussina and the boys handing straight off. Got to work a little clock now because they have the lead. Timeout called by Danville. Wisely, because it's 4th down.
Yeah, 2 high safety look here. We haven't seen a lot of that for the, I think they might have even been quarters. So attacking the soft box with the inside run. And there he is once again, Mr. Cooper. He's a heck of a football player. A little bit of help from his buddy there, Gannon Feldman. These guys are making plays on both sides of football. We talked about will they get wore out. We see how many two-way players there are for Danville. And you know, conditioning is going to play a huge role. There's no question about it.
So it's almost like a 2-minute warning. 2 minutes on the clock, 4th down and 6. Does Danville go after the punt, or they try to set up a return, get good field position? We know they have a good field goal kicker. You'd like to see Danville get some points going into the half.
Absolutely, and Coach Kaiser, certainly with that timeout, says he means business. He's trying to get some points for his football team. He wants to go into the locker room with a little bit of momentum.
I believe this is the first punt of the night for Montoursville. So it will be Musina, who has a very good leg. If you didn't expect that. Back to receive is Persing. He's all the way back at the 40. Low line kick. Persing has room from his 40. Good return, about 10 yards, 15. So Danville with good field position in Montoursville territory near the 45.
Ball's kind of angled towards the sideline. Persing does a great job catching that football on the run, turning the corner, and picking up 15 yards on that return. And here we see the strong leg of Musina. Ball kind of heading towards the edge. Nice job fielding that football, running up the sideline, getting everything he can get.
So here comes Peyton Riley. He's had a very good first half through the air. He's led his team to the only touchdown they have. They would like to get points before the half. And he finds running room. He breaks out into the clear. Peyton Riley looking for the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown Danville. 46 yards.
Peyton Riley on a straight keeper. He follows Preston Fosnot, his guard, down the football field. Starts to play in the middle. He kind of cuts it towards the edge, short side of the football field, follows that block with Fosnot, and just takes it in pretty much untouched. What a big play by the signal call for the Ironman, who's really impressed us all today. We talk about Musina, but look at this cut to the outside. Nice job. Probably needs to put that football in the other hand. But heading down the sidelines for a touchdown. Nice job. We talked about Musina. Well, the other quarterback come to play too.
He absolutely did. Riley, the kick is up and is good. And Danville cuts into the Montoursville lead. It's down to 4.
Bobby, how big was that defensive stand by the Ironmen down there that set that whole thing up? Just a great job, and then getting some great field position. This is about field position and taking advantage of it. I mean, just an outstanding. We talked about counterpunching.
Yeah.
This is a real slugfest
This
here.
is.
And we're seeing 2 counterpunchers out here.
Like a middleweight battle.
And I don't know if I'd count the Warriors out with 140
Nope.
left with that quick strike offense either.
Let's take a look at this run again from a different angle.
Does a nice job. He's just looking for a place to turn it up, and he finds it. Now a nice cutback here. And you see Fosnot out in front here. And Fosnot, he actually makes a little block there. And then Preston just takes the ball right down the sideline.
Saw a block in the middle. I didn't get a number, but a Danville player just put a wallop
65.
on Montoursville. Was it Fosnot?
Yeah.
Well, he laid him out, and that sprung Riley.
Excuse me, I said Preston Riley is we want to correctly identify the young man. He's having a well of a football game.
Oh, absolutely. He's had his hand in 2 of the touchdowns. He also kicked a field goal to begin the game. Now he'll kick it off.
A quarterback named Peyton. I shouldn't mess that up, probably.
No, but I've never seen the other Peyton run like that before.
Maybe at Tennessee.
Maybe never.
Lots of fireworks here. Hope you're enjoying the
They're actually
game of
going
the
to give Riley the kickoff. He's got to get some water. So Maury will kick it off, line it down to the 20. Straight return, so plenty of time left now for Musina. 1:36 remaining. Good field position at the 38.
Tom Shea on that return. Just takes it straight up the field.
Tim Allen is coming to Fox 56 starting September 19th, starring in the hit show Last Man Standing. Tim's world is filled by women, especially at home with his wife and 3 daughters. Laugh along 5 nights a week at 6:30 on Fox 56. So plenty of time for this Bryson to go to work. Goes to the outside. And they're going to call it. Referees are looking at each other. Completion.
That's a heck of a catch. Looks like the receiver, and I can't get a number right now.
Shea.
Was it Shea?
Yeah,
I should not be surprised on that out pattern. About a 9-yard pitch and catch here. He extends himself to catch the football, and blocked by the Danville players, but maybe we'll get a better look at it here from a different angle. One of our 6 cameras out here tonight. Nice throw to the edge. Just stretches, gets that foot down. Nice job.
Nice job on the camera work. So the Warriors now change the to first down on the opposite side. They have some timeouts left. So Danville really needs to step it up here. They're going to play back. And he finds a receiver over the middle. This is Conboy for big yardage, about 15 inside Danville territory. Goes Montoursville just like that.
He's on it, runs an inside curl. Really out there in the hook zone. Catches the football, moves the chains. Once again, big time in the pocket. Look at all this time in the pocket. You don't even see anybody in the picture. Perfect throw to the outside shoulder to Conboy. Conboy turns it up for extra yardage.
No pressure being put on Mussina at all. Pitch and catch for him and his receivers. Again, Conboy out of bounds, 25-yard line.
Yeah, you talk about arm strength. He gets that ball out there to the other edge, which is like a clothesline throw. And it's just pitch and catch like in the backyard, Robert.
Do you think Danville has to do more blitzing?
They have to find a way to get pressure on this young man. And they haven't done that. And a little bit of pressure was coming, but it was a real quick release kind of play. They get the ball out in the flat, yards after the catch.
Looks like Danville's willing to play back. Pump fake. There they get some pressure on him. We've seen us showing some legs, gets nailed out of bounds near the first down mark. Clock will stop. About the 15-yard line.
Danville with a too high safety defensive look here. Mussina really patient, looking down the field. Watch, his eyes are down the field. He doesn't really want to run this football. He's looking down the field. He's looking down the field. Now he decides to put it away. He changes hands, takes it to the edge, does a good job turning the corner, picking up positive yards, and Mr. Jake Cooper says, "How you doing?" as he knocks him out of bounds.
Ken Cooper having himself a nice defensive game.
He's all-state football player, Bobby. No question about it.
Lewis, running room. Lewis to the end zone, carrying people. Down at the 1, first and goal, Montoursville.
Yeah, Lewis running behind his fullback there. Just a little basic fullback lead. Just a power play. Doing a really good job carrying tacklers. Very physical downhill running attack by Montoursville. When I watched them in practice, I didn't think they'd be this physical. But this is a physical football team. Almost like an ISO play there. Real nice hole. Look at him chugging. Look at that. Somebody on his back. He's like carrying 2 golf bags, like the caddy that carries 2 golf bags. He carries it down right in the shadow of the goal line.
He'll get rewarded, and Danville stands him up. Near 30 seconds to play. 20 seconds on the clock.
A lot of purple there at the point of attack.
Montoursville with their first timeout of the half.
2 timeouts left. So.
Yep, right at the 1. But how about the way the Warriors have responded? I mean, if you're Danville, you're thinking, what do we have to do? We just scored. And Montoursville just putting on a clinic through the air.
You have to consistently play defense, and they really haven't done that. They have to find a way to get in Mussina's face. And really no one has done that this year. No one has done that.
Maybe that's what Coach Kaiser is talking to his players about. Got to find a way to put pressure on Mussina. But how about Montoursville, though?
And these are routes that take a lot of time. As we see him stand tall in that pocket, all by himself, and he steps into every throw.
Came in averaging just about 22 points per game with a couple big wins over Shikellamy and Selinsgrove. And this is why they are the 5th-ranked 3A team in the state. 2 timeouts left. 20 seconds. Straight first man through, and no signal. Touchdown, Montoursville. Couldn't see the ball carry, but he was in the back of the end zone.
Lewis 39. Nice physical. Just run, banging it in there. Picking up the yard he needed.
So it could go back to another 11-point advantage for the Warriors. that did not take long at all. Just over a minute they had the ball.
We talked about a minute 40 was probably an eternity for this offense, and certainly was ample time for them to answer.
Extra point is up and through, and the Warriors bounce right back. 6-play drive covering 62 yards, just over a minute 25 off the clock, and now they're back ahead by 11.
Bob, I'm really surprised by the physicality of Montoursville. You kind of look at them, you think, they're a finesse football team. They're a hit-you-in-the-face kind of football team. They do a really good job of blocking at the point of attack. Certainly they pass protect well. They have receivers that make plays downfield. This is a heck of a football team. They're a real challenge. You have a week to get ready for this football team. You better prepare wisely.
And both these teams, I believe, will play Southern Columbia this year, and they're both in the Heartland Conference. Montoursville, for the last 2 years, was in Division I of the Pennsylvania Heartland, playing some of the bigger schools, but since it went to 6A, they moved down to this Division II.
Do you like that format, Bob?
The 6A format?
Yes.
I like the big 6A format. I think the bigger ones need to be in their own classification. I don't like. I'm glad they went to 6A,
More teams,
but
more
I like to see the bigger schools more closed off. Yourself?
Yeah, you see teams with 600, 700 boys, and they're still playing the teams with 3,000 boys. What did they accomplish at that level? So I tend to agree with you there. They could have did a better job of divvying that up. They wanted the numbers to be so, close together. They wanted 100 for each, and you can't really do that.
Well, it's a 2-year cycle now. I'm sure they're going to revisit that at the PIAA level. Persing up through, maybe he broke it. Danville fans hoped they did. He did, but he was tackled. 8 seconds left. Danville will get the ball to receive the third quarter, and it's been a very entertaining first half.
Yeah, absolutely. Offensive fireworks from both football teams. They surprised at the Danville passing game a little bit. That's really keeping them in the football game.
Absolutely. Talked about Hilkert coming in, but it's been Peyton Riley doing the job. So they'll take a knee. So a very entertaining first half is in the books here at Ironman Stadium in Danville, and it's the Warriors ahead of Danville 28-17. A lot of offensive fireworks, a lot of highlights to show you at the half. Aaron will also talk to the athletic director here, Ron Kanaski, the wrestling coach and golf coach, and we'll have a story on concussions in high school football. Right now we're awaiting Aaron Dugan. She's tracking down J.C. Kiefer. Coach is making his way over to her. And now he's always the last one off. Coach is always the last one off.
He's coaching somebody up.
Yep,
Excuse me.
He is. Okay, Aaron, waiting J.C. Kiefer. Got a couple people banged up. We'll have to catch those numbers. Montoursville band will be coming on. They're very good. We saw the Danville band here early on. So Aaron's going to walk off with Coach Kiefer. Aaron?
Well, Coach, a very entertaining first half. Lots going on, interceptions, onside kicks, fun for football fans. But for you as a coach, what was that like?
Yeah, up and down like a roller coaster, like it always is.
So defensively, I mean, you know what's coming. How do you stop that run game?
Yeah, we got to keep plugging away. We got to tackle better. We got to buzz our feet and break down and make tackles. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's basic. It's basic football. There's nothing fancy here. It's just a hat on a hat and go out and make a play.
All right, thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Bob?
A lot to talk about at the half. It's Montoursville over Danville on MyTV WQMY.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY.
Back to halftime at Ironman Stadium. This is the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY. Montoursville 28, Danville 17 at the half. And make sure to stay with us. This is going to be an excellent second half here at Danville. I'm Aaron Dugan. Joining me right now is a special guest here at halftime as the Montoursville band performers behind us. This is Ron Kanaski, the athletic director, the golf coach, and the former wrestling coach. So you've been at this for many, many years. Tell us how long you've been in the athletics here at Danville.
I've been here at Danville. This is my 47th year at Danville School District. I've been here since I got out of college, and it's just a great place to live. It's a great place to raise my family, and I'm proud to be part of this school district. I still enjoy coming to work every day.
They're definitely still proud to have you. What's kept you in it for so many decades, kept you coming back day after day?
Well, as I said, it's a great educational school district. I don't know of any school district, I'm obviously biased, but I don't know of any school district that has a better balance of extracurricular activities, education, and athletics. We combine it all, we get the total picture. Our kids are really engaged in their activities. We have a high percentage of involvement in activities with our kids. It's just a good situation for families to be a part of. I'm just proud to be part of it and proud to be here for as long as I have been.
Lots going on in fall sports right now. You're the golf coach, so shout out some of your golfers. Tell us about the season they're going to have.
I have a great golf team. I'm very proud of these young men. They're presently tied for first place with Central Columbia in the league, and we have a rich history of golf in our school district. We've won the District 4 championship many times, and we continue to build a program. I have 3 of my former golfers playing Division I NCAA golf right now. We're very, very proud of that.
And you spent many years as a wrestling coach, and I know that holds a special place in your heart.
Yeah, it does. Wrestling, we've had a lot of success in wrestling in Danville, and I've been fortunate enough to be the coach I was head coach for 43 years, and just a lot of great memories. Had a great opportunity to work with some young adults that turned into having some fabulous careers in their lifetime. It's been a real honor to do that. Special place in my heart.
So before I let you go, I have to talk to you about this game here tonight. We were talking about it off camera, but it's going to come right down to the end. What do you expect for this game here tonight?
Well, here you got Heartland golf, Heartland football going on. 2 great coaching staffs on both sides of the ball, and they're all engaged in this whole situation. Total athletic programs on both school districts' parts. Having a rivalry with Montoursville is a healthy thing, and we're going to have that in football for years to come, and I have a lot of respect for both coaching staffs. This is a good game. A lot of quality athletes out there in that field tonight, wearing orange and purple and wearing the gold and blue.
For sure. Thanks so much for stopping to chat with us, Ron.
Thanks for having me.
All right, make sure to stay with us here on MyTV WQMY. We have an excellent second half coming up, that's for sure. You're watching MyTV WQMY. We'll be right back.
Back at Ironman Stadium, 45 points put up between these two teams, and we're only in the first half. Back in the booth, Bob Ide and Eddie the Etzel Walker. Very entertaining first half. 45 combined points. Montoursville up 11. Again, your thoughts on the first half?
Both teams played very well offensively. It just seems like Musita has all day. He has all day to look down the field, pick out a receiver, and throw the football. And I really think that's the challenge in the second half, is putting pressure on number 11. And really, Danville has not even begun to hint at putting pressure on the young signal caller.
Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights, and there is a lot to get to, Eddie. And started in the first quarter, of course, and it was Montoursville taking the lead. Musina finding his receivers.
Yeah, the ball's dropped and kicked up in the air and high-pointed and taken to the house by the Danville defensive back, Peyton Riley.
They would get a field goal off of that, and then Montoursville gets on the board with a touchdown.
Yeah, just a little play to the short side of the football field, following good blocking, lowering his pads and banging it down to the 1-yard line, and here's the touchdown that caps off the drive.
That was Nolan Ott. Then Danville responded with a nice drive of their own. Hilgert, some good yardage.
Yeah, just attacking the interior of that defense, taking on tacklers, falling forward for positive yardage.
It would continue through the first quarter. It would end up in the second quarter highlights now. Montoursville would score in the second quarter. They go on a 5-play, 84-yard drive, but not before the defense came to play. Some good running from the outside.
Yeah, nice job by Gannon Feldman. We talked about he played quarterback a year ago, and it's all capped off on the second touchdown of the game by Peyton Rowley, the signal caller, who beautiful job of cutting back against the grain.
We talked about Danville needed to respond, and then the old onside kick, too, after a penalty.
Look at the big hop at the end of that. Nice job. The kicker recovers his own kick. They probably saw on film that they backed up in the middle. They were kind of loose on that, and the Warriors take advantage. Little outside curl pattern.
Yeah. Actually, after the onside kick, Musina will be intercepted, his second interception of the game. And we are back live now. Danville will get the ball to begin the half, and they always talk about how big this third quarter kick is. How big is it tonight, Eddie?
I'm not sure if they're right, but they do. They always say the first possession is paramount. Danville would like to get back in this football game. They really don't want to fall behind by another score. We talked about them really not being a big play team, but they did have a 5-play drive for a touchdown in the first half. But I think it's imperative that Danville moves this football, even if it's to establish field position if they have to give the ball up.
Montoursville ended the half on a short drive of their own. Took only a minute 22 off the clock, and that's where the lead is now. 28-17 as we begin the third quarter. Both these teams ranked in the top 5 in the in the PA Football News state rankings.
That's statewide rankings.
That's 3A state rankings. So here's Lazurka. He can boot it. We've seen one into the end zone already for a touchback. He hangs it up there. And it will be Austin Miller from his goal line. Brings it out for good yardage. So Danville takes over about the 28. So here's a couple of stats from the first half for Danville. 25 plays. They ran the ball 19 times for 127 yards. Peyton Riley had a nice half, throwing the ball 4 of 6 for 49 yards. But really, it was Riley's legs that made the difference. 5 carries for 61 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, absolutely. Very optimistic plays. And you know what? He's picking his holes, and he's finding good spaces to run, to turn his shoulders, and gain positive yardage. He did a great job in that first half.
Still plenty of time for Danville to run their offense. They run that wing T. Straight to Hilgert, couple yards.
It's going to be stopped by Brian Schaefer.
Hilgert in that first half, Eddie, 10 carries, 37 yards. You'd like to see him get a couple more than that, but they've had to go to Riley a lot more.
Yeah, they've contained him. They really have. They've done a really good job of holding him down, but he could go off at any time. He's a big-time back. Rushed for 1,315 touchdowns a year ago.
Riley to the air. Nice job on the move, finding his favorite receiver tonight, his tight end, Shane Kozik, with another catch. 14 on that. They get a little more than that, up past the 45-yard line.
We've seen that play-action rollout all night. Him hitting Kozik over there pretty much at the same spot. It's been wide open all night. Here, a little half rollout, looking down the field. And Kozik's wide open. The defender overruns him a little bit. Kozik falls forward for a couple extra yards.
Of Riley's 5 completions, I believe 4 have been to Kozik. Hilgert breaks out. The big fullback pounds his way to the 40.
Sal Conboy on the stop, but it's way past the change down the football field, and we talked about this young man. He's a big-time football player. That's a nice start to the second half. Watch this play. He runs a little straight up. He'll probably learn he needs to lower those pads a little bit. He's a big target there, but real nice job and a nice tackle by Conboy, but the ball's inside the 40-yard line.
Danville again averages 6 foot, 208 pounds on that front line, but they're doing a nice job giving Hilgert the holes he needs. 6 more for the senior.
Stop by number 62, Dalton Tubbs.
Yeah, real nice job running behind a Gannon Feldman block at the point of attack.
A little no huddle now from the Ironmen.
Kind of changed the pace.
Feldman outside, he's got room. Gannon Feldman to the 20, first down Danville, they're on the move.
Yeah, Feldman on that stretch play. We've seen that play work a couple times. Look at the hole he has over here, running behind blockers. Nice trap blocker on the outside. Mr. Cooper downfield escorting him. That's a good guy to escort you downfield.
Hilgert breaks a tackle to the 10. Close to a first down for the Ironmen. And they've come out with a will to score.
A few moments ago, we talked about the great job of containing Hilkert. Well, I think somebody took the lid off the bottle. Good yards after contact. Always falling forward. We keep saying that, but it's true. He's a physical downhill kind of runner.
So ran a play, third down on the way and short now coming. They can get a first down about the 9.5-yard mark.
Obviously 2-down territory. They were down here earlier and they picked up a 5-yard penalty. They do not want to do that again. On a 3rd and short, if you remember.
Danville held the lead early. It was 3-0. Ever since then, it's been Montoursville with Danville trailing. Riley behind his center. Browse picks up the first down. 1st and goal, Danville.
Riley stood up on that keeper at the point of attack, but he did a good job of keeping his legs moving, pushing forward, found a little space to squeeze through, and really picked up positive yardage right outside the 5-yard line. 1st and goal.
Montoursville caught with too many men on the field. Close to a touchdown. Let's see the touchdown, Danville. They give it to him.
Well, it's a touchdown in Canada also, where 12 men is legal. A nice job.
It was Feldman. Montoursville could not get their players off the field in time. The no huddle.
That's what the no huddle does. That's
Causing
what the tempo does. Because you really don't have to put an attack scheme in. It's about assignment and alignment. You just want to line up. And that causes problems a lot of times.
But should the play have counted? That's, I guess, does the play stop if there's too many men on the field after the flag?
I don't see why.
I don't either.
Illegal substitution on the defense. That penalty will be declined. Touchdown.
You'd think that 4-4 defense, 4-4-4 defense would have sealed that off, but it didn't. Once again, Danville gets back in this football game. And you talked about how important this drive was to open the 3rd quarter. Bobby, was pretty important. They answered the bell.
The number 3 ranked team in the state shows why. They go down. Riley kicks the extra point, and it's through. And just like that, Danville now trails by 4 here in Ironman territory.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY.
Back in Danville, the home team responds with their first possession of the second half with a nice drive of their own. 9 plays, 73 yards, and they're within 4. This is Shea up to near the 30, and here comes Bryson Messina back on the field. Messina in the first half, 11 of 17, 172 yards, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. Montoursville ran 28 plays, 21 runs, 109 yards, 276 total yards of offense. That's 100 better than Danville, but again, they're only up 4.
Here comes the Montoursville offense trying to answer the score they just given up.
Out quickly to Shea.
Number 19.
Couple yards.
Gets the ball to Shea out there in the bubble.
So we just got word. We'll take a look at this replay again.
It's about 8 yards, so it's a nice gain on first down. Catches the ball, nice inside fake, carries the tackler, falls forward. Going to bring up a 2nd and 2, Bob.
Ball on the carpet, picked up by Lewis. That could have been dangerous, and he gets near a first down.
Number 39, Torrin Lewis on the carry, recovered his own fumble.
Yeah, Lewis dropped the football, then he backtracked and picked it up, and they're moving the chains, Bob. So they didn't draw it up that way, but it was a successful conversion.
First down, ball mark.
Watch him backtrack, pick the football up, and go the other way. Like a counter play, kind of.
Kept his head low to the ground.
There's that 3-man front for the Ironmen.
Lewis behind his fullback for a couple yards.
Lewis on the carry.
So we do have word from the locker room. Jim Kaiser, the Danville coach, who was sick last week, did not get to South Williamsport. He remains in the locker room, not feeling well, being looked at the doctor.
Yeah, I was at practice this week, and he was still a little under the weather. You could see him kind of struggling a little bit. Obviously, he told me he wasn't 100% coming in. He was concerned about making it through the night. It looks like he won't.
We hope he feels better. They need him. Danville responded for their coach, and a big hit there. That's Jared Mowry, the 6'1", 225-pound junior.
Yeah, I've heard some good things from the coaching staff about this Mowry kid. He's a big kid. He's very physical. Here he stands up the ball carrier at the point attack. Watch him coming up here. Boom. Just lowers the boom on him. Drives him backwards. That's a nice job of filling that gap and making a solid stop.
He came in with 17 tackles, 11 of those solo, 3 for a loss and an interception. You've seen it with time rolls. Overthrew Rothrock, so looks like Montoursville will be forced to punt.
Yeah, it kind of looks like they had two receivers very close, like Convoy and Rothrock. Yeah, I think that's kind of a busted route. They were very, very close to each other, and it brought the Danville defenders. And really, Messina's lucky he didn't throw a pick there.
So Messina comes back on. It's 4th down and 5. He will go back into the punting formation. So if this happens, Danville holds, and what a time to do it. Flag down. Too many men in the huddle for Montoursville will back them up 5, so they will be forced to punt.
12 minute on, illegal substitution. Illegal substitution.
Illegal participation against the Warriors.
On
a 5-yard penalty.
Well, if Coach Kaiser said something to him, Danville has responded. They've come out of the locker room looking like a different team and ready to play.
Looked good on both sides of the football. Yeah. Offensively, nice drive for a touchdown. Defensively, they get a stop.
Not many punts for Messina tonight. I believe this is only his second. A nice high hanging kick. Persing lets it go over his head. They'll down it at the 16-yard line. So here come the Iron Men with a chance to maybe take the lead again. They've held it for a brief amount of time. 3-0 early on.
42-yard kick by Messina, no return. Nice high hang time. Took a little bit of a backwards hop. Danville takes over about the 17-yard line, 1st and 10.
So how about Peyton Riley, a wide receiver last year, just a sophomore, is leading his team underneath center through the air and on the ground. Hilgert steps through, picks up about 6.
This is what the Ironmen want to do. They want to pound you, and that's what Hilker's doing right now. Doing a real good job of following his blockers. That's a nice hole there. Picking up positive yardage, going to bring up a second in about, I call it 3.5, 4 yards.
Let's see if they can put a time-consuming drive up. Philman, second man through, is stood up. Only a couple yards.
That little scissors action.
Brian Schaefer with the tackle.
Stopped by number 32.
Britt's going to bring up a 3rd and about a yard. And there was room to run there, but that's a great job of filling there by Schaefer. Nice textbook tackle, like a rugby tackle. You notice his head's to the side? That's what they're teaching the kids today, to take the face out of the tackling. And it's a real issue because the numbers are down on a lot of these football teams. And so you need to teach this safety first, this rugby-style tackling. They don't go face first in rugby. Did you ever notice?
Yes.
They don't wear helmets. And
well, at the half, we saw a story on concussions, Eddie, I did, and we talked to Jeff Wasilchak from Lakeland. One of the things we did mention is how they're teaching the heads-up tackling. You just mentioned it. It's more of a rugby style. You don't want the head hitting a collision in the head, and concussions that are a big thing.
Wrap your arms, bring your feet to your backside, go through the ball carrier.
So the measurement just about a yard short. So 3rd down on the way for the Ironmen, who've come out of the half, already put up 1 touchdown with their coach in the locker room.
The kids are bigger, faster, stronger, better. There's better nutrition. There's better training. There's weight training pretty much year-round for these young men. The collisions are greater. They're playing out in space. I think that increases the collisions. People get a 10-yard run at these kids, not like in the box 100 years ago.
Riley straight behind Browse, Mowry, and Cooper in the middle. powers his way forward. I think he's got the first down. He may have bobbled the snap a little bit. He held on, though. Let's see where they mark it.
Really
yeah, that's a first.
Okay. Now they're moving it. I thought they were going to bring him across, Bob.
Like here we go, the no huddle again, which is given fits so far to Montoursville right out of this half. The referee.
Don't think they expected it.
Yeah. Feldman to the outside, gets a block. 6 yards up to the 35.
That's that play that we've seen great success with all night. Bring Feldman around, taking him to the opposite side. Here, let's get a good look at this. 53, Mr. Cooper out here. That's the guy you want. Boom, there's a hole. Nice block by Cooper at the point of attack.
Hilger now. First down and more. Loses the ball. It's picked up. No whistle. It's Anthony Washington. He'll go in for a Montoursville touchdown. And a late hit. Flags all over the place, but how about those circumstances? Fumble, touchdown.
Nice opportunistic play by Washington. Scoops that baby up, takes it to the house, touchdown. How fast this changes. Danville with obvious momentum, coming off a touchdown, a stop, moving the football. The ball's going to be, if you fight for the extra yard, that ball could be pulled out. You wonder if the kid was down because it looked like Hilker's elbow was on the ground, but there is not any instant replay at this level, and that's going to be a touchdown for Anthony Washington.
Peyton Persing, number 17, being helped off the field at the 30-yard line for Danville. That'll be a big loss, a starting wide receiver. Also plays a little bit of defense.
You kind of hope it's a cramp, but they're painful, but a lot of times you can treat them and get the young man back on the field. We'll have to watch that. We talked about the lack of depth that Danville has. The numbers really don't match up with the Montoursville numbers.
Seen a little bit of everything tonight. And we had a fumble recovered by number 1, Anthony Washington, the sophomore. Sorka in for the extra point, and it is good. There was a flag down. I don't know if we got a call. I believe it will be assessed on the kickoff.
Personal foul, and I believe it is going to be. So they're going to kick off from the 45 once again. I don't know if you're going to see your onside kick, Nostradamus, again, if you're going to call that.
I don't know. But let's look at this. Here we go. Here it is again. Let's look at it. Slow it down. I'm not sure if he was down, but again, replay is only used in college and NFL.
Looks like the elbow. Is that ball coming out? No, it's the elbow's down, but that's just a tough break for the Danville Ironmen.
Might have been Schaefer who pulled it out.
Yeah, Washington's making a house call.
And here's the late hit at the end. Persing, Riley was just diving for the ball, just trying to get the player, and kind of ran into Washington. Wow. Danville had all the momentum in this third quarter, and it's been taken away. Fans can't believe what they're seeing.
There's the personal foul call against the Danville Ironmen. They're going to back it up here.
So back to an 11-point lead now for the Warriors.
They're actually going to back Danville up there. Montoursville's marching forward.
And again, last time this happened, if you're just joining us, Montoursville ran an onside kick to perfection. Wow.
Danville has their tight end up there in the middle, so I really think they did a good job of addressing that. That's Dyson Howard. He's a basketball player, 6'5", 184-pound sophomore. He's long and lean and has really good hands.
Yes, came back out his senior year. This time, Lasorca will just tee it up, and they'll bring it back out to the 20.
Yeah, he kicked that to the interstate.
So now, Eddie, you're the Ironman now. You had all the momentum. You fumble the ball. Now you have to respond. This makes a tough team. This is a mentally strong team you have to be.
Momentum's one play away, Bob. They need to make plays. You have to put it in your rearview mirror. You have to keep doing what you were doing.
Third quarter score, Southern Columbia 34 and Mount Carmel
28. 4:35 remaining here in the third. Plenty of time for Danville. Go to the no huddle. That's been working. So they'll have it at their own 20. This is Feldman weaving through. Good yardage up near the 25.
Feldman on the carry. Stop.
A little pushing and shoving now.
What I really like about this Feldman kid, he has great patience as he comes around the edge here, and he actually waits for a block to develop, and he kind of slows down to let a space open up. Watch this young man. Watch his patience. His head up, makes a little cut, comes off his blocker correctly, then a little cut back inside. Nice job. Kind of picking and choosing space to run through.
Right back to Hilgert. Close to a first down.
Yeah, Trent the Tank once again, trudging forward.
By number 39,
Going to be third. We're going to call it 2 yards. Certainly a manageable situation.
Well, they wanted to limit the big plays for Danville did, but I don't think they expected the big play to be a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Nothing you can do about that. First man through is Hilgert with room. Sidestep a couple players up near midfield. A big run for the big tank.
First down. Stop by number 2.
Yeah, they put the ball in Hilgert's motion. The quarterback acts like he's pulling it out and giving it to Feldman, but Hilgert has it on a quick hitter. Follows his tight end, big 88 Howard. We talked about him. He does a good job with the seal block.
Feldman with room, scoots through. They run that play to perfection several times tonight. More positive yardage up to the Warrior 39-yard line.
Yeah, absolutely. They really did a good job of figuring out they're going to attack this Montoursville defense. They're going to run on them. They're committed to the run, and they're getting positive yardage. They're controlling the clock, and they're wearing out that defense.
They're mixing up what side they're getting the ball on as well as Hilgert goes through. This time off the left, last time to the right.
Yeah, he gets 3 or 4 yards on that first down, so even when it looks like Montoursville's doing a good job of sealing it off, it's a nice first down gain.
A 3-yard pickup, ball mark on the 36-yard line.
I really like Dorian Yeager, this tackle for the Ironman. He's doing a real good job of blocking.
They're going to run Riley. This time Hilgert can't get a block. Lewis shoots in, makes the tackle. 3rd and long on the way.
That's an outstanding play by Lewis, knifing through, making that stop. Here we're going to see it again. Running behind Hilgert. Turns it upfield, but there's Lewis in the hole with a nice tackle with his head to the side. We're seeing really nice execution on this safe tackling, and I love to see this.
If you're Danville, do you have to score in this possession with the time running down?
There's a lot of time left in this football game. There's over a quarter left.
Riley turns, goes for the deep pass. 2 guys out there, overthrows both of them.
Yeah, double post pattern. You really don't see that too much. It's going to bring up a 4th down. They both had a step, but obviously you have 2 receivers right beside each other, so I just wondered if that was executed correctly.
So do you go or do you try to pin them deep?
I think I punt it. You've had success defensively. You played a field position battle. Here's that throw again. Pretty good arm strength.
Riley does have a good
arm. Down there, but you see 2 receivers run the same pattern.
Little rugby style. If they don't pick him up, he's going to run. Angles it towards the end zone. Well, nice job by the special teams down near the goal line, and Montoursville will have their backs to their own end zone with a long field to go, and they lead by 11 points.
Austin Millard fielded that punt on one hop, and they really do a good job of backing up the Warriors as the ball sits at the 5-yard line, I believe. 7-yard line, excuse me. PA announcer straightens me out.
So the Danville defense held Montoursville the last possession. Let's see if they can do it one more time. First down successful for the defense.
Yeah, just smashing it up there through A-gap. Mowry once again on the stop. We're starting to call his name.
On the carry.
That 3-5 defensive alignment for the. We saw Selinsgrove run that so beautifully over the years, so they're running a 3-4 this year.
Very quick third quarter is nearing an end. Both teams have put up a touchdown. We've seen a little swing pass out to Shea. Shea shedding tackles. Gets Montoursville out up to the 25-yard line.
You throw that ball out there in the flat to Shea, you really have to, the first tackler really has to get his butt on the boulevard here. Has to make the stop. Look at this little inside cut. Now look at all this yards after the catch. 5, 10, probably about 15 yards after the catch.
The yak yards, very important for these two receivers. Give them open space, they can make a lot of plays. Messina surveying to the tight end, minimal gain. Persing, who walked off before with a cramp, is back. He makes a stop.
That's an outstanding job by Persing out there on the edge, bringing the tight end down. Out there, the athletes in space, and the defense won that one.
One team is going to have a loss after tonight. It's a close one here in Danville after 3.
Brought back by popular demand, the longest running sitcom in America, 5 nights a week, The Simpsons. Starting this Monday, Bart, Homer, Maggie, Lisa, and Marge will return to 5 nights a week at 7 and 7:30 on MyTV WQMY.
Back at Ironman Stadium, bob-eyed Eddie Walker, Aaron Dugan on a hot, humid night. Northeastern Pennsylvania. We have a good one here. Things heating up. Both teams scored in the third quarter. The difference at the half was 11, and it remains 11. Danville held Montoursville the last time they have the ball. Montoursville scored on a fumble recovery. You've seen it back. Millar with great defense on the outside. 3rd and long on the way.
Yeah, they work that out to Shea again in the flat, but this time we talk about the first tackler. The first tackler has to get him down, and he does. And that's the difference between moving the chains and setting up 3rd and long. Now this is a monumental play here as we start this 4th quarter. The Ironmen are really in search of a stop.
Have they done a better job getting pressure on Messina? Or is it just...
Maybe covering the receivers.
Yeah.
I really don't see Messina getting a lot of pressure. And the touchdown they got was on defense.
Need to stop here. They get some pressure. Messina not very mobile. He falls down. Defense holds for Danville as Yeager comes in to make the stop. Warriors have to punt.
That's a sack. It's a 1-yard loss. But give the secondary credit for that sack because Messina really had some time. He slides his feet, kind of comes out to the edge. The defense stretches it out, makes the stop. Good job by that secondary unit and the linebackers in coverage there.
Only the 2nd sack of the season given up by Montoursville.
And the weakness was the Montoursville line. Go figure.
Both lines have played very well. Now Messina needs to nail a good punt here. Persing back all the way to his 25-yard line. Low line drive. Takes a decent roll, but Danville has good field position at the 27-yard line, trailing by 11.
Pretty much flips the field from the 48-yard kick from the 35 down to the 27. So nice job by the special teams unit of Montoursville. Messina's an excellent punter. And you always have the thought that he's going to throw it downfield. So he puts a lot of pressure on you.
So Messina, very good baseball player. That's probably where he'll go after he graduates. But right now, Danville wants to get this tightened a little bit. Second man through. Feldman bobbles the ball but stays on his feet. Like a pinball, picks up about 9.
We talked about his patience. We saw it there too. He lets the play develop. does a really good job of waiting for his blocks, looking for space. There we go. Got his eyes down the field, takes it to the outside. He breaks a lot of tackles. That's a really poor arm tackle attempt. There's another arm tackle attempt. Takes a bevy of Warriors to get him to the ground.
Coach Kiefer was worried about the heat, the humidity affecting some of his players, so they've been going in and out. Let's see if it pays off here in the fourth. Millar, one of the few carries. No gain on the play. Well, we know Riley can throw it. Let's see if they go to the air.
Yeah, second man through on that play. Nice job by that right side of the defense to block that off, bring up a second and long.
Hilgert pounds forward. Third down coming for the Ironmen.
Attacking that interior inside the tackles. Hilgert doing a good job. Little spin move there. Broke a tackle. Really turned nothing into something. Here we go, watching this here.
Let's see what Danville can do on this big third down. Raleigh rolling. Had his tight end and went in and out of Kozik's hands. He had a first down. Fourth down coming up.
Kozik running that dig route coming across the field. Just didn't squeeze the football. Good throw by Riley. I think he kind of peeked at the defender coming up on the edge. Ball comes through his hands, falls to the ground. And they lose a really good opportunity to move the chains.
Raleigh with the boot. It rolls right at the 20-yard line. That's where Danville will touch it up. Now here comes Messina and the offense back on the field. Eddie, we're getting towards crunch time. 8:29 remaining in the fourth quarter. Now it falls on the Danville defense.
And they've pretty much responded. Montoursville haven't really done a lot offensively here in this second half. They're living off on first half points. And that defensive turnover that turned into points. But if you look at the scoreboard, it's still an 11-point football game.
That turnover could be the difference. Really changed momentum because Danville had cut the lead to 4. Lewis stood up by Hilgert. Loss of 1.
Little draw play action there. Hilgert coming up from the outside, unblocked. Sumo wrestling Lewis down to the ground. Lost a little yardage there, it looked like. Here we're going to see it. Tries to go out to the outside, but there's that man, Trent.
So now time is on the side of Montoursville. They're going to let it roll down. Under 10 on the play clock. Messina with a big hole. Scoots through. Minimal gain. Third down on the way.
Stopped by 23.
Secondary, Eddie doing a nice job here in the second half.
Yeah, nobody where to go with that football. Hilgert with another tackle. Another third and long situation here. It's a big play. It's a big play for the Danville defense. They want to get that defense off the field. Seven minutes, 14 seconds, moving clock.
Messina out in the flat. He's got a guy wide open. This is Shea. Kozik, the man to beat. Can't make the tackle. Touchdown Warriors. 80 yards.
80-yard touchdown pass.
Coverage breakdown there. We're going to see it again, I hope, but there's a coverage breakdown. So they get the ball to Shea out there on the, somewhere out there in the area of the sideline, about 20 yards down the football field.
80-yard touchdown
Looked like two
pass.
defenders came up, and he's all by himself. Here we go. We're going to get to see this. All by himself. coverage breakdown, and they take advantage. Nice running after the catch. Beautiful cutback. Here he breaks the tackle, takes it to the house. We talk about Tommy Shea being a playmaker. Well, him and Messina just made a huge play.
Lasorka, the extra point. Is that the dagger that put the Ironmen away? A big 80-yard pass play. Messina to Shea, and just like that, the lead extends for the Warriors.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY.
Back in Danville, Montoursville extends their lead now, 42-24. Aaron Dugan is down on the field to give us a little preview of tonight's sports show.
Yeah, Bob, we've got a good one. It's week 2 of the Fox 56 Sports Show driven by Toyota. If you stuck around at halftime, you saw that great story on concussions and prevention from Bob Ide. That's going to be on the show tonight. We also have the Holy Redeemer girls soccer team. They're expected to be very good in the Wyoming Valley Conference in their division this year. Maybe a shot at a district title. They have 2 sisters on the team, a freshman and a senior. They're the Kavanaughs, and they kind of lead things out there in center field. A very cool story there. We also get to know Williamsport senior quarterback Isaiah Hankins in our Get to Know, and he is full of personality, and he's a very fun guy to interview. Also, we have the Hazleton area cheerleaders and the Berwick band. So it's a jam-packed show, and it's tonight at 11 on Fox 56, guys.
Thank you, Aaron. That will be coming up tonight on Fox, as Aaron mentioned. Down on the sidelines, we're watching a couple guys for Danville getting stretched out. Looks like some of the cramps are setting in, as we talked about, and that depth now going to be an issue for the Ironmen, really coming into play in the fourth quarter.
Danville will take over just inside their own 20-yard line, probably about 81 yards away from where they want to be. We talked about they're more of a deliberate offense. We'll see how they try to respond to this deficit.
Now they're forced to pass, and we know they can. Kozik, he connects. Up 8 yards for him.
Doing a real good job.
There's
getting the ball to the outs.
And he's shaken up on the play.
Injury timeout.
A little water break now. So the Pennsylvania Heartland Conference, here are the standings going into tonight's game. Here you see Shikellamy, Selinsgrove, Mifflinburg, and Jersey Shore all at 1-1. Shamokin, a very good 0-2 team. And Eddie, you would think the top 4, it's going to be a battle to the end.
Absolutely. Selinsgrove really 2 starters back on 0-3 on D. They're in a rebuilding mode. They have a heck of a quarterback, Libby, but they really have to build a team around them. These teams are going to get better each and every week. At least some of them are. We'll find out who comes out of this Division I.
How about Division II, where these 2 teams are in? Southern having a tough game tonight with Mount Carmel. There you see the 2 teams, Milton and Lewisburg, round out the division.
Yeah, it kind of shows you how big this game is for Montoursville and Danville. The opportunity to go 3-0 and not fall a game back.
So the athletic trainer keeping busy on the Danville sideline. Team down big now. That play didn't look too good. Half a yard, 3rd down on the way.
Not real prosperous, and the clock is moving. We're here late in the 4th quarter with 6 minutes and 25 seconds left. She's going to bring up they're moving to change. They picked up the first down.
I guess so. Closer than I thought. They go up quickly. Persing drops it.
He had Persing on a little hitch pass, but fails to squeeze the ball. Going to bring up a 2nd down. They moved the change so fast on that up tempo that they were still moving the change and the play was developing.
Up quickly, Danville needs to get some points. Now they're forced to throw. tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Trying to get the ball to Kozik out there on the edge on those little outs that they've been running all night long. Somebody got their paw up. They say if you can't get to the quarterback, next best thing is to get your hand up in the air.
4 down territory now for the Ironmen.
Somebody went into J.J. Watt mode there, who's made that famous.
Riley over the middle. Kozik drops it again. He was covered well, though, but I think it hit his hands.
2 defenders out there, including Lewis, ready to lower the boom on Riley. You wonder about all these fakes and tomfoolery, because you know that they really have to throw now.
Danville look a little tired, a little slower now in the fourth than they have even begin this third quarter.
I think the body language and stuff is a little down. I think the scoreboard has something to do with that. Certainly the heat, the fatigue. We have a little
timeout on the field called by the Warriors, as they maybe have too many players on. So Division III of the Heartland Conference, Hughesville, Central Columbia, Warrior run again, as I mentioned, off to their best start in a long time. That's going to be a very competitive division towards the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about Coach Scott Dennis obviously changing the culture down there at Central Columbia. Warrior run with a surprising start. South Williamsport dropped a tough one last week to Danville, but they're still winning at 1-1. Loyalsock has a lot of talent. Their quarterback, 2 overtime games for Loyalsock, and their quarterback's been amazing. Great runner, that young man.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a very good division down the rest of the way. So plenty of football to be played. We're in week 3 high school football, you want to call it here. It's what Danville has on tap. Milton next week, big rivalry game. They play Southern on October 14th, and they'll get a returner back, I believe, right?
Yes, they will.
They will.
He's
Evan Hagenball?
Yeah, one of the linemen. He's a good one. He had a little cast on his hand. He's been out since early in the season, and he'll be a welcome addition back.
He's an all-conference defensive player, so these two teams could end up in the finals again of 3A. Fake. Riley going to throw it down up for Kozik, and he makes the catch at the midfield mark. Not too many people surprised, but good execution.
He had a couple receivers over there. Kozik does a good job going up high, pointing that football, coming down right on the edge of the sidelines. He's limping around a little bit. We'll have to keep an eye on him. They're going to hurry up and get up there and run a play.
Danville up quickly. Down 18. Need a tight end in there. Time is ticking. Riley stood up by Schaefer, about 5 yards on the play, but there is a flag on the other side.
I wonder if Howard lined up properly. He was late getting onto the field. A lot of times you'll check with that official over there. They might have too many men in the backfield on that situation. That's right where Howard would have lined up. Illegal procedure.
Yep.
I believe that's probably the case.
So penalties have hurt Danville tonight in key spots in the first half, especially. And now trying to get a drive together and get some points back on the board.
Yeah, they're battling the scoreboard. They're battling the clock, the heat, the humidity.
Illegal procedure on the offense. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Repeat, first down.
Yeah, that receiver, he got out there awful late. Really didn't have a chance to check with the official to see if he was parallel to the line of scrimmage, and probably just guessed, and he guessed wrong.
Danville cheerleaders still having a good time here tonight. No flags on this first down play. Riley still on his feet. Picks up a block. Out in the open. Peyton Riley down the sidelines. Touchdown Danville. It's been the Peyton power.
Peyton Riley rolls to the one side, nothing happening. Ends up going back the other way, turns the corner, takes it to the house for a touchdown. Nice job with a fake down there on Anthony Washington near the goal line. 55 yards on the carry, and Mr. Riley's been a star all night long. Now he's got to come back here and kick the extra point. Hope he had a little shot of Gatorade over there.
45-yard run. Danville gets back into it. But I think Danville's found the quarterback of the future. They're going to go for 2. Feldman back to Riley. He can throw it. And it's almost intercepted in the end zone. It goes incomplete, so the 2-point conversion is no good.
That wasn't by design.
No.
I think he bobbled the snap.
First the touchdown.
Harry rolls out, nothing happening. Decides to go back the other way. Pressure from the backside. Cuts it up, cuts it to the outside. Breaks an arm tackle, off to the races. Mr. Washington has a good angle. Little stop and go action there. And Mr. Riley takes it to the house.
And Mr. Riley is
he's gassed.
A little gassed on the sidelines.
He needs some Petro.
I told you, the athletic trainer getting a workout on the Danville sidelines. Mr. Riley may be trying to catch his breath. He's fine. He's going to back out there. So now, onside kick?
I would assume so. 12 points.
Yep.
We're talking about a football team that usually takes a little bit of time to score. We just saw a 45-yard touchdown run. It really wasn't designed, but that was the finality of the play. Peyton Riley just with a heck of a football game.
Eddie, pretty much what we expected, but you maybe a little expected a lower scoring game,
Yeah.
but both offenses and some defense and some trick plays and wild plays have made this. They have put up 72 points on the board tonight.
Very entertaining football game. Crowd's getting their $6 worth. Here on the banks of the Susquehanna River in Montour County, the county seat of Montour County, Danville.
Well, there were a lot of good games in the area, but when I talked to Coach Kaiser, at Media Day, I said, what's the big game? He said early on, Montoursville, here we are. First meeting since 2013 between the two teams, and it's been extremely entertaining.
We wish the best for Coach Kaiser, who's under the weather.
They do go onside kick. It does not go the 10 yards.
They needed to cut the grass a little tighter.
Yeah, a little bit tighter, right?
I'm not sure if that goes 10 yards on turf, though.
No, I think Coach Kaiser's back out there. I just saw him.
Warriors take over 1st and 10 on the Ironman 47-yard line.
Yeah, there's Coach Kaiser.
Maybe got some fluids and not feeling too good. Maybe trying to avoid the camera too. Walking around. Straight up the gut. Big yardage for Montoursville by Torrent Lewis, who breaks free. And a lot of tired players out there. Up to the Danville 26.
The last man standing between the end zone, Shane Kozik with the tackle. Lewis on that quick hitter, just wide open, nobody near him. I think we're seeing a fatigued football team.
There's Coach. Was worried about the depth. He loves his top players, but really it's after that. His team has played very well tonight. Almost a fumble in there. Now time ticking, under 5 minutes to play here.
Logan Ott. Excuse me. Yeah, it is Logan Ott.
Yeah, Logan Ott. Yep.
Nolan's brother.
Freshman.
Get a little interior run there for about 4 yards. Clock is ticking. We're going to be under 4 minutes here. very deliberate.
Lewis through. How about the way Montoursville, Eddie, runs that I formation? Very tight to the quarterback.
Yeah, real tight splits. Just running power left, power right. Working on the clock.
Why is that? Where you see sometimes you see the tailback 7 yards back. He's about 5 or 4 yards back.
It generally means they're running inside, and that's exactly what they're doing. I think it means a lot of it's what kind of back you got, too. If you got a shifty, speedy back, I think he's a little deeper like we would see Bats for Selinsgrove over the years. He's more of a power runner. Ott is.
And Lewis, too, so they'll give it to Lewis.
That's real tight.
39 on the
Now
carry.
just trying to get a first down. Clock is rolling, under 3 to play here.
By number 23, Trent Hilker.
12-point lead for Montoursville.
Trent Hilkert has had a real workout tonight because I bet he has 15 tackles also. This is a huge play, 4th and 2. I see exhausted players on both sides. The Montoursville kids have their hands on their hips.
I'm pretty winded myself up here in the press box. Not much air flowing through. We'll toughen out, right, Eddie?
Absolutely. We're gamers.
Good tackle in the backfield. Number 51, Mowry, the junior, on the stop. So Danville takes over on downs, Eddie. 2:16 remaining in the game.
Mowry blew that up. He's shooting through there, going low. Really standing the tackler, the ball carrier up, and a little help from his friends. Change of possessions, and out comes a fully lubricated
I mean, it's got
Peyton
this.
Riley.
Got the feeling, Eddie. Sorry, this game's over, but it's not, I don't think it's over yet. I mean,
they need a big play.
They need a big play, and Montoursville looks pretty gassed themselves. Riley, no one pulls it down.
Riley in the carry.
Up to the 25, flag comes in. That will stop the clock and maybe go against the Warriors.
Lewis might have been a little too aggressive. I assume the whistle blew. But when a runner's fighting for extra yards, you know, that really didn't seem like a dirty play to me. I'm up here, I don't hear the whistle.
No.
So maybe I shouldn't comment.
Well, if anything, the chains move, the clock stops. So favor to the Ironmen.
A 15-yard penalty, ball mark on the 40, 1st and 10 Ironman.
Danville next week heads over to Milton. Montoursville heads to Mount Carmel.
That's a tough trip for them.
This Division II, the PHAC, is very competitive this year. Riley all day to throw, and he skips it. He had a man over the middle. That was Feldman. Clock stops. 2nd down on the way.
Yeah, trying to get Feldman on the skinny post. The ball is thrown too low and behind Feldman, who slides on his backside trying to come up with the catch, but fails to do so. 1:40 left in this football game. 2nd and 10.
Oh, Riley doing everything he can to hold on to the ball, and he finds his tight end over the middle, the big 6'5" sophomore Harward. It's spelled differently.
Yeah, he's a big young man. He's 6'5" in length, 184. He can put a few pounds on, but he's only a sophomore. But there is a flag down.
Yeah, back at the line of scrimmage.
It's like a holding.
Holding.
Yep.
On the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Pete, 2nd down.
Riley threw a strike, though. He hit Harwood right in his belly.
Well, penalties were an issue coming in for Danville, and they have played out that way tonight. Timeout, Ironman. 91 seconds left in this game. They trail by 12, but they have the ball.
Fighting to the end, going out on their shield like the
That's right.
like the Gladiators would and carry them out on their shields.
So the Warriors again hit the road next week. 2 big wins to begin. Although we home to Mount Carmel, so that's my fault. Then they go to Jersey Shore.
That's an easier trip for them.
It is. That's right. It is. That it is. So, not an easy schedule. They meet Southern this year. Boy, that's a rematch of the district
home games, Southern
final,
Columbia, Lewisburg.
And those last 2 games are tough, too.
Yeah.
Hughesville and Loyalsock, big rivalries, and both teams playing well.
Hey, we talked about the Messina kid, his dad, Mike. You think Mike's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, sure. I think Mike Messina is a Hall of Famer. I'm sure he's in the stands somewhere.
270 wins.
7 o'clock kickoff.
Jim Palmer at 268. He's in there. Love to see him get in. 17 years of double-digit wins. So he's pretty consistent. He's the basketball coach down there at Montoursville since 2013.
Well, here's what his son has done. He's a 3-year starter. Led the Warriors to back-to-back championship runs. Lost last year, and of course, there's his father, Mike, Baltimore, and then played with the Yankees. Just missed the World Series, though, by 1 year. So Eddie's voting for him for the Hall of Fame, if he had a vote.
Absolutely.
They're going to run the Millar. A sweep. Get out of bounds. He does.
Millar in the carry.
Gets some yardage back. 3rd and long on the way, but still a makeable play.
Coach Kaiser has his kids fighting to the very end. This could help them win a football game down the road. Look at this. Following his blocking. Out there on the edge. Very patient. There he finds his space. Turns up. Looks like there might have been a little holding out there. But if the tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it.
That's right. They're going to keep it on the ground. A little surprised.
34, Ryan Palm.
Give Ryan Palm, a junior, to give him a play. So 4th down on the way.
Blake Kiefer in on the stop. I wonder if he's the coach's son. He's a freshman, 5'9", $175. We're winding down here in a hurry.
Yeah, I think Danville is kind of thrown in the towel.
North Pocono Scranton next week?
Yeah, we'll give the schedule in a minute. But we're back at it next week, Eddie. Millar, straight through.
Austin Millar in the carry.
And obviously a coach's decision to run this game out, and that will do it. Here's our upcoming schedule. The clock stops with 10 seconds. This is coming up tomorrow. This is some of the non-local. We have ACC football, some Major League Baseball on WQMY, Mets, Yankees, and the Twins and the Mets. And that will do it. The clock hits 0. A very entertaining game here in Danville, but it's the visitors from Montoursville who are victorious tonight. The final score, 42-30. We'll take a timeout, and Aaron Dugan will be on the field with the victors. Montoursville remains undefeated. Danville goes to 2-1.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY.
So Montoursville remains undefeated on the season. Coach Kiefer talking to his team as they're listening on to their longtime coach. And Eddie Walker and I are back in the booth. We'll await Aaron Dugan and the interviews. But what was the difference in the game in the 3rd quarter? Danville got it to within 4, but then Montoursville pulled it out.
The big scoop and score by Anthony Washington kind of changed the momentum. Danville really had things going their way. A stop, a touchdown. They get the ball back. They're moving the ball once again. That kind of took the air out of the balloon, so to speak. I thought it was the play that changed the game.
Absolutely. They went on now a 42-30 win, but Danville found the quarterback. Peyton Riley looked very good.
Hey, they're 2-1.
Yep.
They're 2-1. They're in good position. Yeah, they need to get this much better every day and get ready for the playoffs. Just keep winning football games. They lost to a tough football team, and Montoursville is legit. They're a legit football team. I believe this is a legit football team here, too, in Danville. You lost a football game. It's not the end of the world. Adversity is a part of football. They need to step it up Monday.
Could this be a rematch? We see that in the district final, AAA.
Would not be surprised. I would think that would be a real safe bet. I'd like to see that rematch. Really a nice job tonight by Danville coming back in the second half. That one play just kills them. And then the long touchdown late in the football game, that doesn't help things. I think it was pretty much decided by then. Montoursville's going to have a happy bus ride home. They're 3-0. They're in great position.
Absolutely, and let's see what the victors had to say. Let's go down to Aaron.
Well, Bob, we're here with the two players of the game, Bryson Messina and Tom Shea. Bryson, we'll start with you. How good does it feel to get this game under your belt? They're a very tough opponent, but you guys got it done.
Oh, it feels good. Definitely after a tough first 2 weeks. I wanted to just come out and just stay loose and be myself and make some plays. And we came in with a good plan, and they made a couple adjustments, and we had to make a couple adjustments. So I think we did all right.
Definitely got a great arm. You can see that on the field, but you have some exceptional targets to throw to. How good does that feel to have that confidence that you know these guys are going to catch the ball?
Yeah, it's great when you can have a guy on one side and then put your other best player, your tight end on the other side, who's the fastest there is, and then they got to make a decision. They can't cover everybody, and then so yeah, it's great to have. And then the guys just making plays, catching the ball. I mean, it's a heck of some plays tonight, man. It was good.
Yeah, one of those really exciting plays, that 80-yard touchdown catch from the guy next to you. Taking through that play, what did you see on that play?
Well, it's too deep, so when the corner comes off, I got to hit the receiver in front of the safety. The safety actually jumped with the corner, so I ended up being behind the safety. But Tom made a nice play. Then you don't just get the end zone, so you got to work for it. So he made a heck of a play.
Great job tonight.
Thank you.
Our next player of the game, Tom Shea. Let's talk about that play. What did you see on that play?
Well, we knew they were playing cover 2, as Bryson said, but Coach Kiefer said if I get outside the corner, Bryson's going to rip it into me, and I'm going to have to outbeat the safety, and I just put some moves and made it to the end zone.
Definitely a pass-first team. What is the chemistry like with the receivers and Bryson?
Oh, it's great. In practice, he's always hitting his spots. We're always catching the ball, and he really trusts us, me, Riley, Mitchell, any receiver, actually, because he trusts us catching the ball, and we're just really good at it.
Got to talk about the defense tonight. Definitely came out here to play. Just give your defense some props.
Yeah, I know. They're a tough run team. Coach told us that, but we put a lot of work in during the week of practice, and Torin, all the other everybody stepped up. The whole team played good game and stopped them when we needed to.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, Bob.
So, Eddie, do Montoursville have to work on anything?
Sure. Maybe run defense a little bit.
Yep.
You always have stuff to work on. They give up a lot of yardage passing. Maybe not so much tonight, but Danville had more success than we thought they would passing the football. So, there's always stuff to work on. They'll look at the film and they'll find a ton of stuff to work on. Good football game, very entertaining. I think the folks got their money's worth.
Absolutely. So both teams move on in the Pennsylvania Heartland Conference. We will move on here on MyTV WQMY. Up next week we have big school match between Scranton and North Pocono, Eddie, and then we have Prep in Wyoming area. And the big news from Wyoming area tonight is they beat Berwick tonight by 14 points at Berwick.
Yeah, it's tough to go into Crispin Field. That was a crazed crowd, 2-0, not giving up any points to the Berwick Bulldogs, 2 blowout wins. And Wyoming area comes in, huge win for Randy Spencer, his biggest win maybe since he's been there. He goes to 3-0, and he's legit. There's some street cred for the kids up there in Wyoming area.
Absolutely. That will be a big match there. So a big game here. Eddie, thanks for joining us here as a special guest color announcer. Did you have a good time?
Oh, wonderful time. In the 144-degree heat up here.
Wow.
But no, I really did. I'm not whining. It was wonderful. It's a great game to call.
Absolutely.
It's a great venue here. Where would I rather be on a Friday night than with you here talking football?
Absolutely. Well, thank everyone at Danville for welcoming us in. We've had a good time, and, of course, thanks to the Fox 56 Sports crew for another great production. So for Aaron Dugan and Eddie Walker, this is Bob Ide saying so long from Danville. The final score again, Montoursville wins it 42-30.
watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY.